Welcome to another episode of Does This Offend You? Today we talk about the fast lane, walking lanes, and bicyclists. Is the law wrong? Does it even know what it's talking about? Am I wrong? Believe me, I don't think I am. Stay tuned for my opinion on all that and more on this episode of Does This Offend You? Thanks for watching.
What do I have to say to make some money? What do I have to say to make some money? No offense.
Welcome in, folks. Another episode, another day, another beautiful, bright, sunny day. Which, might I add, is fucking terrible for recording. My god, if you... I thought we got it right. You will see our struggles if you were following us from episode 1, which I will plug right here. Go check us out from the beginning. I thought we got this taken care of, fellas. But I guess we did not. So.
Just don't blame the Jews.
Yeah. I always do.
Me and Omid are innocent.
Speaking of blaming Jews, you know what I blame the Jews for the most? The concept of the fast lane. So this episode is really... I don't know how to describe this episode really, because we go from like a lot of heavy-handed matter, a lot of things that are kind of universally touching and sensitive and like can really upset the balance of society. And then we talk about this, which is just like super... I'll get into it in a minute. Calm down. This is just like, it's kind of like ridiculous, but also it's something that I have to deal with on a daily basis, and so do a lot of other people. And I really would like to get this off my shoulders because I have a big fucking chip on my shoulder about the concept of lanes in this world. And if you're one of our 0 viewers from like Europe or any other country, international fans out there, I'll break it down for you. So in the US, on the freeways, we have what is called the fast lane or the passing lane. So if you are a driver like the 3 of us here, some more than others, Vlad has to deal with this all the fucking time because he's driving every single day. Isn't that right, Vlad?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Then you have people like Omid who doesn't have a give a fuck about it, doesn't have a care in the world. Isn't that right, Omid?
Indifference is key, my friend.
All right, Gandhi. And then you have people like me who I'm right in the middle, but still I have to face this every day. So fast lane.
Right in the middle while you're about to start ranting your rage. Okay.
Yes. It doesn't mean that this doesn't build up. This rage does not build up because I have road rage. I just don't let it fly until I'm at home. So I'm off the road when the rage comes out.
That's
so
why
this
he abuses me.
That's why as soon as I get home, I hit Vlad. Oh, I can hear he's going to serve me later. So anyway, so the fast lane, god damn it. The fast lane, people use the fast lane. It's exactly what it means. You get in the lane if you want to go fast, faster than the speed of traffic, or if you want to pass people, I guess. So if someone in front of you is going slow, right, you get in the fast lane, you drive forward, get in front of them, continue on your merry way. The sad reality is that the fast lane is super abused, and also the general majority of people think that what they're doing in the fast lane or how they utilize the fast lane is correct. And I'm here to tell you folks, you're wrong. All of you are wrong. And I'll tell you why, because I'll tell you a little story. I'm in the fast lane because, believe me, I don't like to go slow either. I'm just like everyone out there. Where I want to go and how I want to get there is fast. In every respect, not just on the road. Ladies. So when I'm in the fast lane, I'm going like 70, 80 miles per hour, right? Which is like plenty fast when you're on the open road and you're trying to get places. The speed limit, by the way, this is very key. Speed limit is usually 65. That's like kind of like it's common, super common. Sometimes if you're like in Bakersfield, open road towards like the desert, the major grand highways that take you across the United States, you might see 70 miles per hour, right? For the most part, it's 65. So I'm in the fast lane, I'm going 80. Going 15 miles above the speed limit. And people are still riding my ass. And I know you listening right now are one of those people. And they sit behind me and they wait in anticipation for me to move out of their way. Because going 80 miles per hour is not fast enough for them. They can be going 81 miles per hour and it's still not good enough. They will sit on my bumper, on my ass, until I have to move for them. And I'm here to tell you, folks, if you're one of those people, you can fuck right off because you should be going around. If I'm going 66 miles per hour, if I'm going 1 mile over the speed limit, I'm technically I'm going fast. I'm going faster than the speed limit. So, not only are we all breaking the law when we utilize this lane, I don't understand why we all agree that that's just okay. Because while we all agree that that is the fast lane, we also agree that the speed limit exists and we are breaking it constantly. And it's weird because I have also seen the highway patrol use the lane the same way. And they don't pull, I've only seen very sparse instances where they pull someone over. Maybe they're going like 100 or something. But everyone's just in total agreement beyond the law that this lane can be utilized in this fashion, even against what the law says. And I'm a complete wreck. My fucking brain is spinning because I don't understand why people are just okay with it and why people like me who use the lane are at fault sometimes by other drivers behind me who think I'm the asshole for going slower than they are. All right? So anyway, that's just how I'm going to open my rant, and we'll get into it. But do you guys are you guys like with me here? Do you have the same issues I do with this concept of the fast lane?
I disagree with you, man.
Fuck you! Tell me why.
First of all, I think you're just being a little bitch right now. I'm gonna throw that out there. Because at the end of the day, you're saying, oh yeah, you go around me. But it's generally easier for you being in the faster lane to change lanes and then go back in after they pass you. And you can technically be behind them. Like, I think it's just one of the common courtesies of being in the fast lane. Just like there is a fast lane to be utilized for passing people. If somebody behind you is trying to go faster, it doesn't harm you to change lanes. Let them pass you and go as fast as they want and potentially getting a speeding ticket. And you just go back in. And if somebody else wants to ride your ass, you're just like, all right, you can pass me too. But that's generally the purpose of that lane. And the cops do have full discretion if they want to pull you over or not. It's just kind of like, in a way, a trap. Now, in regards to the speed limit, technically, by the law, yeah, everyone in that lane is breaking the law. But also just the concept of a speed limit is very weird to me just because everybody has an agreement of what's technically considered safe to be driving in that lane, but the speed limit is like 15 miles per hour slower than that because it's an agreed safe limit and then less than that just to play it safe because they know people are going to go faster anyway. Like, I'm pretty sure that law was invented by a group of moms that were concerned for people's safety. But yeah, as far as people riding your ass, yeah, they're assholes. Maybe they have somewhere to be. Maybe they have an emergency. I used to think that way, like, oh man, that guy cut me off, what a dick. Or, yeah, they think they're better than me. But then I realized, sometimes people have emergencies too. I can't always assume the person that's driving fast is an asshole. There's always some kind of like extenuating circumstance. Maybe that person needs to be somewhere. And by all means, go past me. I'm not in as much of a rush as you are. It doesn't affect me if I leave my lane and go back in, because literally, if you time it, we're all going to get to the same place at the same time anyway. That's their problem. So, I don't know. But it doesn't enrage me at all. Like, unless I'm having a bad day or I'm thinking about it too much, it doesn't bother me whatsoever. Vlad?
So I'm gonna speak from experience because I drive a lot with process serving. I'm gonna make a point really quick. I went to Europe a couple of years ago, and I got to travel through Germany. And when I was over there, I got to drive on the Autobahn. It's the German highway, which,
Oh, wow.
yeah,
Autobahn.
the Autobahn has no speed limit on it. You can drive as fast as you want. In recent years, they have put up signs where they manually control speed limits in case of like severe weather issues or something like that, where they don't want people flying down like during massive storms. But as an example, in Germany, the Autobahn is used for you're pretty much free to fly however fast you want. Their only rules are like for truck drivers, they can't drive at night because they fall asleep and crash sometimes. I've also read studies, which I just tried Googling as well right now, but you get mixed information on Google. Some articles say that driving faster than the speed limit increases accidents on the road by 8.5%. Then there's other studies that are saying that they've actually found that driving faster on the freeway has caused less accidents as long as everybody tries to keep at pace at driving fast. It's usually the slower individuals on the road who kind of cause the accidents. With my personal take on it, I don't think anybody really likes traffic. Nobody wants to sit behind a person and, have to play rhythmic stops to them because they can't fucking press the gas pedal a bit. I'm also not a huge fan of flying. Like, I have a lot of friends who like to go 107 fucking miles per hour. I've also been, guilty of driving down to LA to 111 miles per hour in Steve's car. But, I mean, honestly, it depends on how you drive, in my opinion. If you're gonna be I think that we've all been in that position where we're driving the freeway and you have those like two assholes in Mustangs or something or Honda Civics that are like racing each other through the freeway and they're trying to like wind between people and fly, and that's something that drives me crazy because I'm like, you're playing with fire at that point. Somebody who can't keep up with your shit and then end up crashing, and that's it. Yeah, I don't really know. I think it's a case by case scenario. Personally, for me, I just think that if you're really driving, I don't mind going fast. I just don't, and obviously, I don't like being tailed. Like if I feel like somebody's tailing me, I'm gonna move over one lane, let them pass, and then I might go back in case the guy in front of me in the right lane is going slower. But generally, with me, from my standpoint, I think that driving a little bit faster is not a problem. You get to where you are. Nobody likes traffic. It potentially is safer as long as you're not one of those like geniuses who drive slowly and decides to get in the very left lane and just sit there for God knows what reason.
I was gonna say, if there's something that doesn't enrage me, it's people that drive slower than the lane to their right when they could be in the right lane the entire time, but instead they're in the fast lane and they're driving like at or lower than speed limit. That's what pisses me off. Like, I understand, like, sometimes I'm not in a rush. I'll be in the right lane, and some people are driving a little bit slower. And I'm like, fuck it, my exit's, like, right over there. I'll just hop out, and I'm trying to calm down. But sometimes you're in that fast lane, and someone gets in front of you, and the moment the lane to your right is going faster than me, or sorry, the moment, to my right is going faster than me, I get, like, really annoyed. I'm just like, bro, like, I'm just trying to pass everybody. Why are you in this lane? Get out. That's what pisses me off.
Yeah, I agree. Fast lane, baby. Live fast, die young.
Okay, gentlemen, because apparently I'm the voice of dissent here. The speed limit is set in place to dictate how fast people should be going. I agree with you. If you're going like 55, 60 miles an hour, it's like, oh God, please go fast, just a little bit faster. And I just told you guys, I like to go a little bit faster than the speed limit myself, up to like 70, 80 miles per hour. But the definition of fast is 100% subjective. Once you pass 65 miles per hour, that's fast. 66 is fast because the speed limit is 65. And I know what you said is like, yeah, the law, or they was set up because it's supposed to just like cost people, like there's a 15 mile per hour discrepancy. So people don't like completely blow the speed limit. Even if they are going fast, it's still like not fast enough to cause any major harm. Is that correct? Am I like
well, no. The reason why like you don't get pulled over by cops, for instance, for going like 70 miles, maybe 75 and 65, is simply enough because of the fact that your car, when you're driving, your speedometer on your car might not be calibrated properly, and you might be getting the wrong reading when you're driving. That's why they kind of give you that little like race threshold of like, okay, he's going 5 miles over. It's not a big fucking deal.
No, I'm talking about Omid said about 15 miles per hour. They create like a cushion.
Yeah, I think there's like a cushion.
Yeah.
I mean, and then again, it's like the cop's discretion if they want to pull you over or not.
Okay. So, sorry, go ahead, Vlad.
But I agree with you. It is a law. I just don't know if it being a law is a reason for me to get upset at somebody else that wants to go faster than I am, even though I'm already going above the speed limit.
But you're getting faster, people going slower than you are. You just said that.
Yeah, I get annoyed when people are going slower than me.
Okay.
Because they're in my way. But somebody who's behind me and I'm in their way and it doesn't harm me to just be like, let me just pop out and go back in so they can go get a ticket. Doesn't harm me. If they want to ride my ass, they also can't do shit about it. They can put other people's lives in danger and try to weave, and that's, again, their problem. But I don't let other people's shit or other people being in a rush get to me either. Like as someone that works, like I bartend a lot, and if they put me as the only person behind a bar and there's a line of 10 people, I'm not gonna be like rushing and be like, I have to get to all these people. I'm gonna be like, all right, one person at a time. What do you want? If someone comes behind me and wants to rush me or like, hey, can you go a little faster? No, I'm giving this person the service they deserve. And when I'm done, I'll get to the next person. Like, it doesn't harm me in any way. I personally don't like being rushed. It's not my thing. And if somebody wants to rush me and put me at risk of making some kind of mistake, that's on them, but I'm not gonna do that. It's not my problem. Again, they can either weave around you or you can move out of the way and let them pass you and they can go 100 something miles per hour and maybe they get pulled over and then you can laugh at them. You don't have to be angry at them.
So vengeful.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
in that analogy, I don't want to be rushed either. I'm going as fast as I can conceive because I don't want to go I don't want to get caught. If I go 66 to like 70 miles per hour, I'm still at risk of being pulled over. The cop, you're right, at their discretion, I can be pulled over for breaking the speed limit. So
Yes.
it's not my fucking job to move over for you. Yeah, I know
No.
I just triggered a lot of people.
You're supposed to though,
Yeah.
Why
technically
should
you're
I?
supposed to.
because the
Why?
law the law says so.
The law says I'm in the fast lane. I'm going faster than the speed limit.
Yes, but the
How-
law also says that the left lane is supposed to be the lane that people use to bypass everybody else. So if you're not letting them bypass, you are causing the legal issue. True, you're not speeding. That's granted, you're safe there, but it's the same thing like if you're in the very right lane, for instance, and you're going to 65, but then you're driving like 30 miles per hour. You will get pulled over for that too. You're driving in the very left, in the very right lane. It's a slow lane technically, but like you're not keeping pace. You're causing traffic behind you. You're being a nuisance. A cop can pull you over and be like, "Yo, either hurry the fuck up, or I'm getting you a ticket and get the fuck out."
It's an unwritten law or it's just a courtesy of driving. It's just like escalators. Like I didn't know this because I didn't grow up with this, but apparently when you're on an escalator, there's enough room for two people to stand on it. Everybody lines up on the right to passively take the escalator and everybody on the left uses for stepping. A lot of people in the Bay Area just clump up on it and they stand in groups and they get in the way. But the reality is the left is for passing and walking. The right is for standing and being passive. Then you can be an asshole to people if they're getting in your way. Be like, hey, like, can you move? But it's still like it's not a law. It's mostly a courtesy in society that everybody just knows or should know.
Plus, keep in mind, you're not technically supposed to sit in the very left lane, because the very left lane is again it's meant for passing. Unless you're planning to
Exactly.
like move super fast, you're not supposed to be sitting there. You can sit in the right to the very left lane, and like cruise there at like 65 or 70 miles per hour. You'll be okay. Cops probably won't bother you. You'll have people zipping by on the left, but you're not supposed to sit in there. That's literally for the people who want to live that fast life and basically play dominoes with how much they can survive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or just get to where they're trying to get to in
And
general.
that's all the lanes ever used for. Those people just like to speed.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
okay, so my question is this: if I'm going above the speed limit at like 80, is 80 fast for you guys?
It's decent.
Average.
Yeah.
Decent.
So if
I
someone
mean,
if someone
I've-
wants to go 100 and they want to ride my ass, why
Let
is it
them
my
pass.
job? Why is it my job to move out of the way for them?
Because
so
they're asking you to buy.
Follow up. They're not asking to get by. They just expect me to move for them. What other avenue in life are you expected to just to bend to other people's will? Is my-
Escalators.
No, but escalators it's the same. It's the same issue. If you're on an
It is.
escalator,
You asked the question, I answered it. Escalators. If I'm trying to walk up and you're standing there chatting with your friends in my way, move. Now, the fast lane, you're right, it's different. It's a little bit more dangerous. But again, I think you're taking something very personal when it's a quick fix. Like, it doesn't hurt you to just go into the right lane and then pop back in and go on 80.
it doesn't hurt
How
anyone
did-
else either to turn their
But you're
steering
taking
wheel.
it personally.
I'm not
You're-
taking it personally. I just understand the concept. They can turn their wheel the same as I can to go around.
But they can't. It's
But they're
harder.
weaving. They're weaving. That's the
If
difference.
they do it, they're gonna be weaving, and the right lane is going slower. The right lane theoretically should be going slower than that. So they're gonna be looking for every single window of space between cars just to weave and get around you if that was their end goal. Or you can just scoop, real quickly.
They-
Out, in.
They have to, for them to get into the other lane, they have to make sure that they slow their speed down to match the traffic in the right lane. They have to be able to get in there, then they have to sit in that pocket and wait for the cars to possibly bypass you in the left lane, which you're not supposed to be going slow in, trying to pressure the guy that's in front of him in the right lane to, hurry up so he can pull past you and then jump across you. It's a whole headache. Versus for you, literally, it's like pop in, you're already matching their speed essentially. You're not in a big hurry. Pop in, guys pass you behind you, cool, cleared, jump back out.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be too difficult, but I'm just...
No, it's not difficult, absolutely. But the principle involved is that I'm being asked to do something, even though I'm putting myself at risk, essentially. And it's not enough.
Agree.
It's not enough for the people behind me. Apparently, if they want to go fast, that's their own prerogative. Why should I have to do anything?
Look,
for
I
them?
agree with you.
Yeah, that's...
I
Can I
agree
ask you a question
that
after?
you shouldn't be expected to do that.
Thank you.
But also, I think you're like making a bigger deal out of something that's just kind of like it doesn't matter that much.
Can
At
I...
the end of go ahead, Vlad. I'm sorry.
This is the Seinfeld episode. This is Curb Your Enthusiasm. It's something that isn't a big deal, and yet we're all totally okay with. But in my mind, it's like, why? It's a big fucking question mark above my head, and that's why we're talking about it. It means fucking nothing ultimately. Sorry, go ahead, Vlad.
What do you do in situations when you're walking with a group of people on the sidewalk, and then you're walking, and suddenly like you have that other group of people in front of you who are walking slow? What do?
I go around them.
Okay, so you move into the left lane, hypothetically, go around them.
It's
speed
on
by.
me to move around them. Yes, I don't ask them to get out of my way. I don't like, hey, you're taking up the sidewalk. Get out of my way. I walk around them.
What if? Okay, so another question is,
did?
what if they're blocking both sides of the crosswalk of the sidewalk as you're walking? Do you jump out onto the street and
Yes,
walk around them?
all the time, dude.
That's equivalent of jumping
Yeah.
into the shoulder to pass somebody. Technically, that's not legal either. That's technically jaywalking. So you broke the law, bud. But
Yeah.
you did it because you really wanted to get by instead of being like, "Hey, could you move?"
And
But
just
it's
telling them like
different
stay out of
too.
the left.
Have you ever?
Yeah.
You've literally told people in front of you to move out of the way.
Yes. I've told
I've
them,
done
excuse
it.
us, guys, and just walk by them.
I'm not afraid of confrontation if someone's being a dick, though.
Yeah, but it's just so easy to walk
I
around
literally did that today. Someone asked me for a stupid favor, and I was just like, I am not today, nor am I ever doing that for you, just letting you know.
them. Oh, so you're not doing something for someone else. Good to know.
No,
So-
but that's because like there's people that just ask you for stupid favors or ask stupid things of you, and it doesn't bother me. I just tell them to their face no, and then boom, problem solved. Or yeah, it's not a problem for me. Let me step over here, and then step back. But if someone's in my way and I'm trying to get somewhere and they're blocking it, I've always done this, especially as a caterer. If I'm trying to pass hors d'oeuvres and there's a group of people talking and they're blocking a doorway, I'm like, excuse me, could you please move? We need to get in and out of here. And I'll probably tell them 3 times throughout the party. And then at some point I start giving them shit for it too. Like they're in my way. I'm trying to do my job and they're being rude. So as long as I know in my head that they're the rude ones and they're not letting me do my job, I have complete conviction in my decision in being confrontational. It's really easy to do. Another example is I'm doing a group project right now. This one kid fucking adds his name to our list, tries to be part of our group, and we can't just not kick him out. We can't just be like, oh, this dude's not doing anything. But when I saw that our project is due soon and he hasn't done jack shit, I had 2 choices. I could embarrass him in front of the group and put in a group chat, hey, X, do your fucking job. Or I personally message them, hey, X, do your fucking job. And I got a reply saying, oh, sorry, I forgot. I'll do it now. Now, I checked and they still didn't do it. But now I have every right to be even more of a dick. Why? Because I said something.
Yeah.
And I think this ties into last week's episode.
I think that honestly, this is more of like, I think this is more of like I said, for me, it's an issue of the confrontation factor, like with the example of walking the sidewalk. If I'm walking and there's a group of people in front of me, and let's say I don't feel like jumping onto the street, which is against the law, like Omid said, and walking around them, I'll be like, excuse me, guys, politely, kind of, and, clearly make myself heard, and walk by them. If they feel like that's rude, that's on them, because I did the necessary steps of saying, excuse me, I gotta get by, I'm sorry, I'm in a hurry, type of thing. If I say, fucking move, it's a different story. They can interpret that shit however, you can be polite, you can be working retail and be polite to people, but they'll interpret you as being rude because they're fucking stupid. Unfortunately, you can't fix humanity's dumbasses. But the thing you can do is just do your part. Is like, yeah, like they're asking, like, can you move? I understand your frustration with like driving because there's no real way to kind of like send somebody a text message to a car being like, hey, can you like slide over really quick so I can bypass you? They ride your ass or they start honking. That's annoying. You're supposed to honk technically when you're like in a situation that could be dangerous. Like if they are in the left lane and you are driving slower, they technically can honk at you to like move the fuck out of the way. It might come off in an aggressive manner to you as a driver, but like you got to pick your poison here. Would you rather prefer them like riding your ass or honking at you and telling you like get the fuck out? Because there's currently no fucking technology out there that lets you type in a fucking message and be like, hey, please scoot over one lane.
Yeah. I remember going on runs too, and people would be walking their dogs and they'd be in groups and they'd make this wide group of people in the run lane. Now, I could, run into the duckweeds or whatever and make my life a little bit harder, or I like to yell, yo, move! And I do it like twice, like, hey, runner, or hey, to your left. They know they have to get out of my way because I'm running and the lane is for everybody, and they're just a giant group of old ass people with their dog leashes ready to trip me. Not cool. So I say something because I'm not going to put it on them to anticipate my needs and I'm not going to walk away being like, "Oh, those assholes." No, they know what I wanted from them and they did it. Cool. If they didn't do it, then they're assholes. Again, this is like we talked about it before. I don't know if this episode's coming out before that or after that, but like when you're passive about something, you have zero right to be mad at somebody because you never expressed your frustrations with them or gave them opportunity to change. So technically, you're going to be the one who's a dick if you're just angry at somebody for something that you can't express to them that upsets you. But the moment you express something to them and they still don't do it, you have every right to be a dick to them. You have every right to be mad. You have every right to talk shit because they are now blatantly being assholes and they're not doing their part to make you to comply to what you need. And that's just the way I operate now. I don't want to be pushed over, but I also let people know this is the expectation.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Problem with both your analogies is they're ill-equated. You're talking about a one-way sidewalk. You want to talk about one-way highways, the problem's different.
Yeah, it's a one-way highway, but there is still a courtesy. There
Bro,
are one-way
Can you
highways,
elaborate?
especially there are going to Tahoe. There is a one-lane area that stretches for a long time, and then there's specifically areas with signs that say shoulder coming up at this distance. So
Yeah.
if you're one of those slow people and someone's riding your ass, you as a driver are responsible for pulling over to the shoulder, letting the fast person pass you, and you pop back in. Like, it is a thing in driving. And now you're talking about, I'm assuming 101 or 280 where there's tons of lanes. It is not that hard for you to just pop into the right lane, let them pass you and do their shit, and you just go back in. Zero harm done. But you took it upon yourself to be frustrated and angry and let that stress get to you. And, I mean, it's not fair to you and it's not fair to anybody in that situation.
Sure.
No,
That's
I'm not frustrated or angry. I'm going fast enough in my head. And they
Yeah,
can
in
go
your
around.
head.
In your head.
In
Yeah,
your head.
it's completely
That's the important
subjective.
part.
That's the problem.
Yeah, but the thing is, you are acknowledging that there's people that want to go faster than you. It does not harm you to go into the right lane.
It doesn't
let
harm them
pass
either.
you because objectively they want to go faster than you, and if you know that and you're blatantly not moving, that's on you too. Who gives a shit? But we're talking about this now because it's clearly something that frustrated you.
It's not like it's ruining my day. I'm just talking because I feel like it's a weird thing in society that no one's really acknowledging. So if someone wants to go faster, they have every right. They have everything in their power for them to go around. They can just do it without any like.
But you're supposed to go around the left side.
Yeah, that's the lane.
That's the
going
law.
around people.
If you take your driver's ed test right now, it'll tell you the way to pass somebody is going through the left lane. You're not supposed to go through the right.
But that also acknowledges the fact that we should all be breaking the speed limit, which I don't understand either. It's this weird.
Well, that's why you have the left lane is for breaking the
It's
speed
just
limit.
weird discrepancy.
This is the libertarian part of me that doesn't give a fuck about that speed limit. If I'm being honest, I want an autobahn.
Dude, you have freaking cops, medical representatives who fly down the left lane. They even go into the freaking pocket because they have to get somewhere fast. They're flying. They don't care about if there's traffic in front of them. They're gonna fly.
Can you say autobahn again?
Autobahn. You're welcome. But and in regarding to Omid's topic with the whole the highway going to Tahoe, as somebody who lived in South Lake Tahoe for a few years, he is right. If you are in that freaking mountain area on that little strip that has each way going high, a little road, if you get to that pocket, which he was mentioning, you have to, by law, and if you're going slower with people behind you waiting, you have to pull your ass into that right lane, let everybody pass, slow your ass down. Once they're all passed, then get back in the left lane, because they will merge.
Again, it's a one-lane highway. There's no other option for people unless they want to go into the opposite lane of traffic, and that's.
Hey, you asked, and I told you there's one lane situations, and you're talking about a 5-lane.
Talking about the freeway. It's literally how I opened up this podcast.
Yeah.
You have every right. You have every right and everything within your will to just go around. No harm done.
But on the left side.
You can go on the right too.
There's not by the law.
Open lanes to the right. Oh, but the law apparently doesn't know what it wants either. Because apparently the fast lane exists, and so does the speed limit. So there's something they cross. There's something that's definitely hypocritical involved. So all these things are just made up. Exactly, fuck the law. So all these things are just fucking made up anyway. So if you want to pass in the right lane, you go ahead and pass in the right lane. You can pass me in any lane, because all this doesn't mean anything. That's what we're all just acknowledging.
The thing is, if they attempt to pass you via the right lane, meaning they're probably gonna have to go through multiple right lanes and weave traffic just to pass you, that's just causing more problems down the road. And
you're having more issues with
traffic. You to move to the right and go back into your lane. Are you afraid if someone's gonna take your spot if you leave? Like, what's the big deal of you moving out of the way and letting them pass you? Is the question now.
Are you assuming that there's actually like bumper to bumper traffic to my right if I'm in the fast lane?
No, I'm not. I'm assuming.
What if they're open lanes? If they're open lanes to my right?
It doesn't matter because the right lanes are assumed to be going slower. So they're going to be looking for pockets of traffic or pockets between cars to be able to weave through everyone just to get back into the fast lane and go at the speed they want.
And you have to also keep in mind they have to match the speed of the traffic on the right. They have to get the pocket. Once they get into the pocket, then you have the tension of the guy on the right side trying to push the traffic in front of him to go faster to get by you. Then you also have those wonderful people that you ever drive on the freaking highway and they like you said, you get on the right side of them and they try to then match their speed to the traffic on the right side so you can't get by them. Those are just two.
That's a dick move, but you're assuming there's like cars to my right that dictate that if it's like open, what's to stop somebody from just going around?
Yeah, if it's
they're
open,
already going faster.
Sure.
They want to go faster. They can go faster around me.
Let me ask you this. Was it open or were there cars to your right? Because now we're talking about two different scenarios. If it was completely open traffic, you're the only two on that road, yeah, they're the dicks. They should have gone around you. But I'm just going to go ahead and assume that they're not that stupid, and there most likely were cars to your right, and it was a lot easier for you to move over so that they can pass versus them having to weave through a bunch of traffic to get ahead of you. Am I at all wrong?
This isn't based on a real scenario. The scenario I'm pulling from my head is like a multitude of like just open lanes. It wasn't like any bumper to bumper traffic or even like it wasn't like busy. There are open lanes everywhere.
I'm just gonna say this, dude.
They have
regardless of how many cars are on the road, by law, by traffic law, by the shit that we've learned when we went to get our licenses, if we are slow, have to go to the right and they have to go to the left. I know you disagree. I get it. I understand your logic.
You also disagree though, because you're saying by law, which means 65 miles per hour is the law. So if I'm going 65,
no.
Going faster than 65.
The law says
fast lane shouldn't exist by that definition, by law.
The law says that you have to follow. Listen, if you go down to fucking Florida, it's 80 miles per fucking hour on the freeway. And that's why they but Florida's a fucking, shit show of its own. Anyway, the point being is that, yes, there is a speed limit. Yes, you have to try to hold it. But the left lane, by our schooling for traffic school, says that left lane is the lane they use to go above the speed limit because you're trying to bypass people. The right lane is where you go under the speed limit or stick to the speed limit as much as possible. So there's like no increase. You're allowed to be in the very light lane, I think 5 miles below the speed limit, if it's like raining especially. But generally speaking, yes, the left lane, you can go faster than the speed limit. It's allowed. It was in our freaking studies. I literally, if I could, I would pull up a freaking driving school right now and be like, hey, here it is for you to read. But I'm not enrolled in one.
So is that to assume that like the fast lane supersedes the law of the speed limit?
It's supposed to. If you're trying to get by, you're also supposed to let like all emergency personnel in through the left lane because they are speeding. They are breaking the law. but they are allowed to as well because they're having an emergency.
Okay, I've never once seen emergency personnel on the freeway in the fast lane. I've only seen people just trying to go fast, and they stay in the fast lane going fast.
Homie, from a guy who literally drives probably 70% of the time, I literally see cops, ambulances, fire trucks on the left lane trying to
Good.
bypass.
Then you're supposed to get out of their way anyway, regardless of the situation. So
Of
that's
course.
fine by me. I don't give a
I've
shit about
seen
that.
Ambulances hop in from one exit, go to the next exit over, staying in the right lane too, though.
They can
I'll
use
say
the
that
shoulder.
much.
They can do whatever
Yeah.
to try to get away from traffic.
I mean,
I understand
they're
that.
supposed to be in the left, but yeah.
I'm not literally trying to get in anyone's way. I'm just saying it's weird how, like, if you acknowledge one law, if it go, Vlad said we learned in school you can get to the fast lane to pass people, and you're allowed to like break the speed limit. So that
Yes.
opens up Pandora's box, which means people can just sit in that fucking lane saying they're gonna pass people and go 100 miles per hour.
Well,
it just completely
there's-
dissects the speed limit portion of that.
There's a reasoning for it. First off, number one, you can't go flying 100 miles per hour. You get your ass pulled over, unless you're
At
absolutely
the
lucky.
cop's discretion, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's say your wife is pregnant and you get to the hospital and she's like about to fucking give birth in the car. They'll probably let you use the fast lane way faster than necessary because you're in a hurry.
How are they
Granted,
supposed to know that?
Maybe they pulled you over
They
beforehand.
pull you over, and then if your wife's pregnant, they will escort
Yeah.
you to the hospital.
They
It's
will
an
literally
emergency-
let
it's
you.
It's literally a medical emergency.
Fantastic, great.
They will let you fly because you're allowed to because you're having an emergency. They'll let you fly above the speed limit in the left lane. Problem is, again, you're putting yourself, your wife, and your possible child in danger. I mean, but that's what you're rolling the dice with.
So what do you think a safe speed is?
I personally think 75 miles per hour.
Mm-hmm.
75 to 80.
80.
That's
Yeah.
fast. Or
I
is
feel
that-
like
or
it's,
is that
I think
safe?
that's a safe limit. I think that's like where you're able to, you're not having to play that tension game of having to brake every few seconds, which is annoying as shit and gets your legs tired. You're going at like a pretty decent speed. You're fast enough to stay attentive to the road. You're not like bored driving 65 miles per hour, literally like just not really paying attention. If you're going a little bit faster, you focus more technically too. And yeah, I think like 75, 80 miles per hour is a pretty good threshold. That's why, like Florida, for instance, their speed limit is 80 miles per hour.
So that's that safe and fast, or just safe?
I think it's a safe. I think it's that like comfort zone where you should be at. I honestly would raise the speed limit to 80. Problem is, I'm not worried about people like me driving. I'm worried about all the dumb fucks who can't drive, who do start driving slow, who do start racing each other and weaving in between lanes because they're either drunk or stupid and causing accidents. That's what worries me. If you're a tolerant person who can drive properly and knows how to like not be an idiot, I don't have a problem with you going fast.
No. I do agree with that, but this isn't the Autobahn. That's the issue.
Well, the Autobahn, the thing is, the Autobahn accepts everybody that way. There's no
With
speed
the
limit on there.
accent. Say it with the accent.
Autobahn.
Thank you.
There's no, there's no speed limit on that bitch. So you're literally, everybody's on it. You're rolling. I mean, like I said, they have situations where it might get rainy or something. They'll turn on the signs to lower the speed just because of, like, rain or something. But generally, when it's dry and sunny, have your fun.
Okay. Great. Have your fun. All right. So I think I'm going to call it there before we head into our commercial break. We were talking about lanes, specifically the fast lane, and we touched a little bit on walking lanes, which, you know what? I also have problems with if we're and we'll talk more about that after this commercial break. Stay tuned. Does This Offend You is absolutely, definitely, and undoubtedly brought to you by this 100% totally real sponsor.
Before we get back to Does This Offend You, I would like to talk about one of our sponsors. And you might be surprised to hear their name because you don't really have a choice. Aha! It's little sparkling water in a can, right? This one is mango and black tea. Ooh, that's right. It is a caffeinated sparkling water, and it also has electrolytes. Now, if you're like me and you're out here looking for a sparkling water that'll give you a nice boost for the day, get you ready for a workout, then I think this is the drink for you. Now, I will admit, it kind of tastes like ass. It does not taste like it's advertised. And I'm not really too sure of the caffeine content because it tastes like a sparkling water, but it says it has it. I am inclined to believe it. And also, the name is just catchy. Did I already spend money on this? Yes. Did I think mango was gonna be sweet enough to bypass the whole, like, I don't really have a flavor thing? Yes. Was I lied to? Most definitely. But, you know what? I don't regret it that much because it still has no calories, really nothing in it. I'm pretty sure it has essence of a mango in it, which makes no sense to me. But you know what? It says it on the can. It has a catchy name. I highly recommend you get yourself an aha if you like to think that you drank something that did something for you.
Can you say aha like aha?
Aha. Or how do you say it, Danny? Aha. What?
Saha.
Saha. Oh, you say saha.
Saha. I think there's a silent
Saha.
S in the beginning.
Well, then never mind. This doesn't apply to you. But man, this stuff is weird. It's like
Aha!
a carbonated sparkling. It's like a caffeinated LaCroix, pretty much.
Oh, there's actually caffeine in it. Interesting.
There is caffeine and electrolytes in it.
Mm.
So it seems like something that you would take like post workout, I feel. But I didn't feel jack shit from it. I drank it post workout just to see what it would feel like, and I was like, yeah, I think I'd just rather have like a tea or actual coffee instead. Whatever. Worth a shot. Doesn't hurt. There's like no sweeteners or anything in here, so who cares?
Yeah, that's how sparkling water is. It's all just fucking. It's my favorite thing about sparkling water in general is that it says it's like the essence of fruit or whatever. They rip the essence out of the fruit and shove it into the water. I don't know. It's kind of fucking metal. Speaking of metal, big giant cars on the freeway. So we're talking about the fast lane. And part of that discussion. So, oh man, this is. I know I am just the guy right now. Everyone hates me. Just polarizing.
No, they don't hate you. They just disagree with you vehemently, and you won't budge.
No, I refuse to budge. Just like I refuse to budge on the freeway. It's not my fucking job to move for you. Just like any other place in life.
We've established that. Thank you.
Danny. Yes.
Yeah,
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna create a new slingshot that you attach to cars, and every time you have a person in front of you that can't fucking move, you put a message in, shoot in their fucking back window. And then when the message lands, you open it and says, please move. And then you get the fucking message and actually move your ass across.
I genuinely think once Tesla takes over the world and everybody's driving Teslas, they will at some point have like a talking feature between cars.
They did announce that.
Yeah, where
They
you can
announced
just
that.
pretty much just be like, hey, we all know it's you, Danny, and your fucking Prius move. They're all gonna say it.
Oh,
They'll be like, yeah, Danny.
It'll
like,
be the COD2 lobbies all over again on the freeway. Can you imagine that?
Is it like a fucking like a PA system or something on the car? What are you talking about?
No, it'll be an intercom. So like Teslas have the computer system installed.
more like a walkie-talkie.
Yeah, you'll be able to press a button, say something. You'll select the car
Oh.
nearby with their ID tag. You can then select that car, and you can record something and shoot at them, and they can hear what you say.
Yeah,
But I'm telling you,
like-
it's going to be
Oh,
COD2 lobbies all over again on the freeway.
Yeah, it'll be amazing because you're gonna have people behind you being like, Danny, if you don't move to the right, I'm gonna take your catalytic converter, and everybody on the road will thank us.
Oh, good. So I'll have this guy's ID, so I can press charges immediately, right? Good.
Jesus
I like that
Christ.
idea. That's great.
Jesus
Then I'm
Christ.
behind it. Motherfucker. And if you don't know what they're referring to, please check out this episode right here where I got my catalytic converter stolen live on the podcast. It actually happened. So, okay. So we brought this up earlier. I don't know. I think we've talked a lot about the fast lane, and honestly, I can keep going. But I think we're at a standstill. I refuse to budge literally and figuratively. So,
We'll just all agree that you disagree.
yes, we all agree that I disagree, but also the law doesn't know what the fuck it's talking about. So, just saying, dude, the law doesn't even know what it wants. The law doesn't even know what to agree with. So, fuck me for being confused about it. All right, just trying to drive, man. Anyway, so speaking of driving, now we're talking about a little bit of something you brought up earlier was a little interesting. So the whole sidewalk theory. So when you're on a sidewalk with people, right? It's like there's literally only room for like two people sitting next to each other at any one given point. And to me, that's reserved for walking forward one way and then someone coming the other direction. It's like one body, one body. Am I like wrong, or is it always just like, or do you guys walk to the other side of the street if you're trying to go the other direction? Do you stay with the lane of traffic?
I thought you were supposed to walk. I thought you were supposed to walk facing the opposite way of traffic.
I mean, that's like a guide if you want to like not get hit by a car or
Wait,
something.
What?
I'm saying
Are
when
you
you
talking
walk
about
on the
sidewalks?
So yeah,
Yeah.
when you walk on the, we talked about this earlier when you guys were like, now this is like a
Yeah.
different type of lane, that I have a problem with.
Sidewalk, the unspoken rule for sidewalks is right side is everybody walk on your own right side and you go straight there. And if you're going head to head with somebody, then both of you are supposed to go left to bypass each other.
Going
Because
head
it's
to
just a
head.
thing that people do. Like, you know how like sometimes people are like walking in the same direction as each other,
Mhm.
right? You're both supposed to turn to the right, or sorry, to the left and bypass each other that way. Is it that way? I'm tripping.
That doesn't sound right.
I think it's the right. Basically, the
yeah.
right, always go to your right. Always
Okay.
walk forward on your right, and the left side is for people passing you on the opposite direction. Yeah.
Yeah, but if on one single sidewalk it has space for two people, but on a sidewalk, it's not like two people walking one direction. It's like one space for one person on the right, space for one person on the left, and they're going opposite directions.
Yes. So
Okay,
you
yeah.
always walk on your right side.
Got you.
So you're walking forward, right side, and your left side is people going the opposite direction of you, and it's their right. So that's why I was confused. But yeah, they're also walking on their right.
Good. So we finally fucking agree on something. And you know what?
Yeah.
You know who doesn't agree with that? A lot of fucking people on this planet. And I know this is like anecdotal, but I need somebody to back me up here because
Well, we talked about it
yeah,
too with
yeah.
the escalators too, right?
Yeah.
Like universally, it's just an unspoken rule. Right side is for passively taking it, left side is for passing. Same thing when you're on a run. Everybody is on the right side, but if you're trying to pass somebody, you have to go to the left of them to pass them. And that's assuming nobody is coming at you. But usually, if you're a runner, you can speed up and cut everyone off and make it through. It's not like a car where it's a fatal accident. You just do it and be the rude person. But that's how it works. People are just stupid. They don't follow the courtesies of the world.
Right. So you're saying that you actually have to run around them. You have to be the one to make the move. You say pass them on the go around.
Well, you're the person
Yeah.
coming from behind. So
Yes.
you have to pass them if you're trying to get past.
Very interesting. I'm not gonna say anything, but glad you brought that up.
That's because there's an opening to the left.
Oh, good.
And
There's
I'm
an
saying
opening.
you have to say something if there's two people and they're blocking the entire thing. We're
And
not
for the
talking about-
record, you don't have a rearview mirror.
No, you
yeah.
don't.
Also,
No, you don't. But
there's
you
never a walk path that only one person only can be walking on it. And if there was, then you're supposed to scream ahead. They step off into the brushes or the grass and you run past them. But if it's two lanes and nobody's on the opposite end, then you can just run around them. Because the left lane is open because not some slow dick is taking it up and trying to be some kind of asshole about it.
what left lane? That's where people are coming this
The
direction.
left side of the sidewalk.
You mean the opposite side of traffic? People are walking this direction.
Yeah, where people are supposed to be.
So you're
doing
going
that.
into the opposite lane of traffic. So
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Good. Glad. So at least we agree with the fact that walking also has its counterpart. It's counterparted by driving. We kind of share the same laws as we do driving, as we do walking. Do we agree with that a little bit? Thank you. So I run into this issue a lot when I'm running or walking. A lot of people will walk on their left side, my right, and we always butt heads, even though there's a complete open side to my left. Has that ever happened to you, or is this just me?
All
I
the time.
fucking why though? Why, Omid? How is
Because
this an issue?
People don't have that common courtesy to understand that there's certain unspoken rules in society.
But
Especially the young kids.
Well,
And
here's
old foreign people are the fucking worst.
God, it is. It really is old foreign people. Fucking cancel this podcast, but we'll fucking say it.
Kids are
Old
also
fo-
that way. Young
old
people
foreigners.
especially.
I don't know. I've never had a problem with like kids.
Gen Z, they do not uphold those unspoken rules.
Well, the thing is, it's not really unspoken so much as it's just like its parent is the actual traffic laws that we all abide by. So I don't know if it's. I know there isn't any actual walking laws aside from like jaywalking or whatever that's like somewhat upheld. But like, if you live in this country and you're used to how traffic goes left and right and left, etc., opposite, right direction, all that stuff is kind of like held up when you're walking. I don't know what the disconnect is. It's like nothing that doesn't change just because you're out of a car. When you're walking, it's still everything's set up in that position already. Nothing's changed aside from the medium you're in. Like, you're not in an actual lane of traffic. You're on a sidewalk with lanes of traffic. It's not marked for you, but everything's still in accordance. I don't understand, like, what the disconnect is. Do you have to be actually told what's happening?
I don't know. On the funny note is that, like, I don't know if you guys ever heard that show, Adam Ruins Everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's pretty funny, but one of the episodes they do is they actually talk about jaywalking and the history behind it. And, like, back in the day, roads and sidewalks were meant for pedestrians. You didn't have vehicles that popular yet, so people walked everywhere, and you had, unfortunately, shit that happened that people died because cars hit them. So at one point, the public being outraged by these deaths piling up, they wanted to cancel cars. They almost got it too. And I think it was Ford who had a FBI agent or political figure, I forget who it was, passed legislation to create jaywalking. And the funny part is that the term jay is a racist term for hillbilly, white hillbilly back in the day. So if you call somebody a jay, you were calling them basically a dumbass from the countryside. And so jaywalking, that's how we got that law in place from a derogatory term that we now use like no issues because fuck white people. But I think it's funny now that, like, if you go to San Francisco, and this is something that drives me personally extremely fucking crazy, they've converted a bunch of roads or blocks in the city into walking zones. So every time you get in that bitch, you turn on that fucking street, there's a goddamn little barrier that blocks you from driving in. But people ignore that shit. They still drive around and drive in there.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I hate that about society, where people who live in a neighborhood think they have the right to enforce some kind of made up law that, like, no driving, pedestrians only, like, only drive here if you live here.
Well, that's the problem.
Fuck you.
It's a San Francisco thing now, and it is a law, and that's the annoying part. Is they actually set this up, and that we have to abide by it, and it drives me absolutely insane because nobody does it.
I don't abide by it because I'm like, I fucking pay taxes to drive on this road. If this is the fastest and most convenient way to get to where I'm supposed to go, you can go fuck yourself. And they do it on, we were driving back from LA, and local residents actually closed off the side roads when the 5 was packed the day after Thanksgiving when we were driving back. They just blocked it off. So everybody had to be in bumper to bumper traffic on the 5 for the entire, I think we were on that road for 12 hours.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. They wouldn't let anybody out to take the side roads. It was such bullshit. But the cops were enforcing that too.
No, but that's what I'm saying. And with these roads in San Francisco, if you like don't like abide by it and get on that road and God forbid actually like hit somebody, dude, you are so fucked. Like, regardless if they're in the street or not, like, you went onto that road, you're liable because technically we're on the road. It's supposed to be the driver's road. Like, yeah, we let pedestrians cross. Pedestrians have the right of way, but at the same time, it's like, dude, these guys are literally walking around, hanging out in the street now. So, I don't know. It drives me nuts.
That's definitely a San Francisco issue now. I know a lot of people here aren't from San Francisco who watch this, but if it's happening in your city, maybe you understand the pain we're going through. But there's a lot of favoritism now for pedestrians in San Francisco. I don't know about the whole Bay Area, but everyone here will know about how they closed the Great Highway. The great fucking irony.
It opens up now and closes, but yeah.
The great fucking irony is it's called the Great Highway, and it's no longer used as a highway, except for like I don't know.
Weekdays it is.
Not even that. Believe me.
Yes, it is on weekdays. It is.
Not anymore. It's like it. Yeah,
it is.
I was just there, dude. No, I wasn't just there. I was there consistently the last 2 weeks. It's closed now because I think weather conditions. I think the beach sand's been blowing on there. Yeah, I know they want to keep it open. But the fact of the matter is, it's not open. It hasn't been open. But on like weekends, it's fine for fucking people on bikes and people to like walk through all the sand and shit. Fine. I know it's not a fucking vehicle and no one's at risk of being like driving off into the ocean because they slip on some sand. I get that. But for a long time, the fucking the pandemic was used as an excuse to close the Great Highway because they wanted to have people go outside and like enjoy their lives.
Close it for BLM too.
It was all happening at the same time though. BLM, like a movement while in the middle of a pandemic. So why not just use the highway? Fuck it. Like it's closed anyway. But then they just kind of took it and ran with it, dude. Like now I understand they kind of open it during weekdays, but the fact of the matter is it's not open for cars anytime now because of the weather conditions, and they haven't cleaned it up for like over a month now. And it's fine on weekends for pedestrians and bikes, but fuck any vehicles.
But that's because cars can't, because the reason why cars aren't allowed there with the whole entire, it's not really weather, it's more or less of the fact that so much freaking sand blows into there from people's vaginas that, like, you can't drive on it. Your car gets stuck in that sand. And unfortunately, San Francisco, being San Francisco, doesn't use their funds from taxes to go and actually clean that shit up regularly and maybe hire people to regularly sweep through that fucking highway every week to maintain it.
Not that shit, just human shit and needles.
They used to, though. That's the
what
issue.
They pay people to clean up.
Yeah, that they care more about that apparently.
But if I'm gonna,
Go ahead.
Sorry, if I'm gonna be honest, I don't mind giving the pedestrians more power because if there's any population I hate the most in San Francisco, it's bikers. Bikers suck.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody hates bikers. Dude, bicyclists, not bikers. Bicyclists.
Bicyclists.
Yeah. Speaking of lanes, dude, bikers are the biggest abusers of any
Bicyclists.
laws. Bicyclists or bikers? Does it matter?
Bikers or motorcyclists? Bicyclists or bicyclists?
I don't give a shit because they also do the same thing sometimes too on a motorcycle. No, okay, bicyclists. Let's stick to one demographic here. Tricyclists. Also, let's not forget them. Those bastards. Bicyclists and tricyclists. Yeah, in
little fucking 5-year-old flipping me off when I'm trying to drive past him.
This fucking
ching
podcast.
Ching motherfucker, ching ching. That wasn't racist. He wasn't an Asian kid. He was a white boy.
You could have said ding ding.
Let's clarify that.
You could have said ding ding.
Ching ching is more accurate. Okay.
Fine, fair. Okay, if you live in any major metropolis, then you know what the fuck bicyclists are. You know who they are and what they're doing because they're the most absurd fucking people on this planet. And I'm guilty of riding my bike through the city. I've done like bike tours through San Francisco. They're fun to do. Don't get me wrong, but my God, do people fucking abuse that bike lane? And they like sometimes they'll just hop up onto the curb too when they see like a fucking traffic light or like a walking light, whatever. They're just like they'll take their bike and into the fucking crosswalk, no big deal, and then back into traffic, in and out, weaving, whatever. I've never seen a fucking bicyclist ever just like obey the law strictly. You have to act as a car, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. You act as if a vehicle on the road with your own lane. You're supposed to act in accordance with traffic laws.
I don't know. I don't know bike law or
law. I know there's somebody we can bring in who would know a lot about that. I'm sure you know who they are. But god damn, we just went down the fucking rabbit hole. But yeah, lanes, it's a real thing, man. I feel like it's a bigger issue than I thought it was going to be when I opened up this podcast. But what was I saying? So back to the walking thing. A lot of people are walking again
on the Great Highway.
The Great Highway.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, so San Francisco, well, even before that, but yeah, San Francisco doesn't give a shit about the Great Highway. They could have easily cleaned that mess up. They used to all the time. They would be closed for maybe a couple hours, but then they cleaned it up, and then they would be able, cars would be able to get back on it. You go to your work, do whatever. They don't care anymore. So it's now a walker's world, so to speak. But that's not even correct because when I'm walking, people don't like to walk on their side of the sidewalk. They like to stay on the left side against traffic. So I don't know what the disconnect is. Again, if you're out there and you're listening to this podcast and you're walking on the left, walk on the right. This ain't Great Britain. This is the U.S. Welcome to the country.
Problem is single parent homes or just uneducated parents is the real issue here.
What? Is it really something you have to educate people about, though? It's just walking.
I mean, if you don't have parents that can teach you how to properly function in society, you're gonna be a little fuckhead about it.
But nobody taught me anything. I just did it, and it made sense.
Well, because you have common sense. Not everybody does. Okay?
So that's
you have common sense about some things. When it comes to driving in the left lane, we can have a discussion about that. But
we just did.
Yeah.
And you're still wrong.
Kidding. That's fine. But yeah, I just think that some people, like my parents never taught me certain things. I grew up in an area where I never thought of escalators as having any form of courtesy. I just personally liked running up them, and I'd weave through everybody to go up them because I didn't want to stand on it. Then I find out later in my life that there is a courtesy to it. And it's not, I don't think it's that obvious because not many people follow that rule anymore. But in other countries, they do. It's just how to be polite in society. not something that happens in America, which is ironic because in America we form lines. In most other countries, people just first person to show their money gets to buy whatever item they're trying to buy at any store. It's amazing.
Really?
No, I mean, like I did that in Israel a lot. I saw a school of people show up and they were in front of me and I was like, nope, yo, shawarma, lamb beef, make it spicy. And everybody behind me heard me say that in English, and the guy took my money and made my order, and I walked out before all of them.
Nice.
Thanks, man.
Well, it showed that you were at least ready for the beef.
So you were
That's
in a
good.
Jewish country with money, and they took your money and made your food fast? Is that what you're saying?
Actually, I think I was in a Palestinian one. I'm not too
Nice.
sure.
Nice.
Yeah, it's usually cheaper.
Did you tell him Alhamdulillah?
Alhamdulillah, of course. And I hid my kippah and I hid everything. I was like, I'm gonna try to get a discount.
Jesus
Just
Christ.
kidding. It's already cheaper.
Oh,
Non-kosher stuff is always gonna be cheaper than kosher stuff. Write that down, fellas. Write that down.
I don't care.
I don't care.
All right. So, any other gripes you guys have with the general lanes and traffic in this country?
I
Why
never
can't we
had
play
gripes
the-
to begin with?
It sounded like you did. You seemed like you had some. You seemed passionate about it about 15 minutes ago. Just saying.
Passionate about which one?
I don't know. I'll go back and review it. But what were you saying, Vlad?
No, my gripe is that we can't play that traffic game where you get to hit people and get points for it.
You mean Grand Theft Auto?
You ever just drive with somebody and you're like, hit that person, 5
Yeah,
points.
all the time.
Hit that guy, 20 points. We can't play that game. It bothers me.
Okay. Well. All right. Well then, if no one else has anything to say, I've spoken my piece, and honestly, I refuse to fucking believe anything different. That's my problem, I guess. That's my cross to bear. I'm the only correct person in this country. Don't worry, you guys will follow in suit 10 years after I'm gone. I'm a man ahead of my time. I believe it. Anyway, so that being said, this has been another episode of Does This Offend You? That is Omid. That is Vlad. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. Tell me how fucking wrong I am or how fucking right you think I am. Because honestly, I like to have more insight on this. Next week, we talk about how fucking bicyclists are all assholes. Thank you for watching. See you next week.
Does